Hi there, I'm Tobie Puttock, Ambassador for National Organic Week. I want you guys to get out there and taste the difference, feel the difference and make a difference. I made the choice to go organic many years ago, and one of the reasons is all the young people in the white hats in that kitchen who are all my 15 trainees. We take on the trainees every single year, and I want to give them the best possible ammo they can get to start their apprenticeships with. So hopefully, although I eat organic all the time at home, I want to instill into them that they should be using organic when they're future head chefs as well. I think everyone should eat organic, and especially with these guys in there, a lot of them have had incredibly bad diets when they were young. A lot of them are living off Coca-Cola and stuff like that. I shouldn't use brand names, but I will. And so I try and just turn that around 360 and get them eating really great food. Organic tastes better, as we know already. I think the great appeal of organic produce for me is the fact that although it tastes much better, I don't feel any guilt whatsoever about eating it. And that kind of guilt I'm talking about is knowing that there may be kind of additives or pesticides in the produce, or that somebody else is being dealt with unfairly while that produce gets to the market that eventually ends up in my mouth. So I feel really good when I eat organic food for a lot more reasons than just the actual taste itself. Although organic produce is a little bit expensive right now, the more people that start buying it, it's going to drive the cost down. It's as simple as that. It's supply and demand. If we start going to the supermarkets and voting with our dollar and telling them that yes, we only want organic produce, it's going to make it much easier for the farmers to survive there, and the price will go down drastically. I think I'm 36 years old now, and I have been brought up on a diet of food from both organic food from my mother and father, but also foods from the supermarkets. I think we're yet to see the repercussions of a lot of the chemicals that are used in the produce. I think in maybe 10 or 15 years' time we may start to see those kind of things. Hopefully they won't be too drastic, but it's not too late for you guys to make a change and turn around to organic produce now. My upbringing has played a really important part of where I am today, but I think it's more, I went through a process. I used to eat really great food when I was younger, and then I went to work in kitchens where we didn't necessarily use organic food. And then I started working in kitchens like the River Cafe in London where they do use organic food. And they didn't kind of push that as produce, saying, look at us, we only use organic. They just did it, and it was just something they did because they wanted the best produce. So I've done a little bit of a full 360 there, and the reason I choose organic myself is because I know it's the best possible flavour we can get out of those vegetables. And I know that if the vegetable's off, it's because it's old, and not because it's like 2 years old, but it's naturally just started to fade away. If you want the best, eat organic. My main message is if you want to look after yourselves, but especially the younger generations, being your children, feed them organic food. It's the way nature intended us to eat the produce. I've taken on the Organic Ambassador role this year because I truly believe in what it stands for, and it's really close to my heart. I've written 3 books now, and they all push for organic food, but also not just organics, but traceability of produce. So one thing I'm really big on, and this goes for seafood and everything, is knowing exactly where my food comes from. The beauty of eating organic produce is you know that it's coming from a reputable sort of supplier, and somebody who actually really cares about what they're doing. It's not factory food, you're eating kind of real, I guess, humanely crafted food. Any organic food is a huge investment, and I think one of the biggest telltale signs is when you go to an organic show or something like that, look at the people selling the organics. The whites of their eyes are perfect and their skin's amazing. It's because they're not putting crap in their bodies, like everybody else. So I think that's the obvious thing. I mean, the proof is there to be seen. Looking for produce that's certified organic gives you the confidence that you know it's actually been ticked off, and the actual soil and everything has been checked. So it's preferable to choose certified organic produce. Often fruit and vegetables when you go into a supermarket look the same. Every single tomato is the same size, almost like it's come out of a factory. And it kind of has in a way. A lot of the tomatoes that you might buy in the middle of winter have been grown over water bars with nutrients in there. They don't get all that beautiful sort of nutrient from the soil and the worms down there, which they should have. So it's not really natural produce, even though it looks perfect. If you go out actually into forests and see berries and things like that growing, they don't all look the same. They're a little bit different. And that's what produce looks like. I think we're starting to get a little bit of a twisted idea. You know, like a chocolate bar, they all look the same. Maybe our tomatoes should look like that as well. It's not true. Look at it, judge it by its taste. I think the taste of organic produce is across the board, but definitely with meat you can really taste it. We only use organic meat in this restaurant here, and we source all of it ourselves from different farmers. But I think what a lot of people come across when they start eating organic produce is they taste things and it doesn't taste like anything they've tasted before. And they'll say it tastes a little bit like the earth, and that's for a good reason, because it came from the earth, you know, it didn't come from some factory somewhere. Yeah, I think we're really lucky on this planet Earth that everything grows naturally. We haven't had to kind of invent things until we started to invent things due to industry, and like keeping produce longer by adding chemicals, additives, all that kind of stuff, pesticides. But we don't really need to do that. I mean, those bananas weren't invented. They didn't grow with those sort of chemicals on there in the first place. So we've put them in there to make us more money, basically, is what it comes down to. So I think at the end of the day, if you can sort of take all those things and put them to the side, which is where they should be, way off to the side and in the bin, I mean, that's what nature intended us to eat, really. Also, with seasonal produce, it's a huge thing. In Australia, we can get almost anything all year round, and I just find that insane. When I went to work in Italy, and England as well, and Switzerland too, you only get what's in season there. And we all hear of the olive oil and red wine diet in Italy, I mean, where they live off to stuff that's grown off the land, in season, beautiful fresh produce, and they only live off that stuff. They might have broad beans or whatever it is 4 or 5 nights a week, because they're in season, they're good for you. We're supposed to eat things when they're in season. I think it's really important to eat seasonal produce, not only for the carbon footprint, but also for our bodies. When we're eating tomatoes that are out of season, we're basically eating a red sort of thing full of water with not much sort of nutrients in there and not much goodness for our body. So nature intended us to eat seasonal produce because that's what our bodies need at that time of year. I think it's really important during this week to actually get out and especially take friends or family who aren't the converted, I would like to say, you know. So get them out there so they can actually taste, see and understand the benefits for themselves. If you can taste the difference, feel the difference and make a difference, you're on the way to living a different lifestyle.